Hi, my name is Jiso and I'm reading Master Dōgen's Shōbōgenzō, and we are on chapter 59, Baike, the Plum Blossoms, in the Nishijima Cross edition. Um, and I'll just read the last bit. The present matter and the present time are the realization at the present place of I originally came to this land to transmit the Dharma and to save deluded emotional beings. A flower is 5 petals opening. The bearing of fruit is naturally realized. Which are the words of Master Bodhidharma. Though there is coming from the west and there is movement to the east, they are the present place that is now of plum blossoms. The state in which the realization of now is like this is described as realized thorns. There is the now of old branches and the new branches on big limbs, and there is the present place of old twigs and new twigs on small stems. We should learn places as having arrived, and we should learn having arrived as now. The inside of 3, 4, 5, and 6 flowers is the inside of countless flowers. A flower is equipped with inner virtues which are profound and universal, and it completely reveals outer virtues which are noble and great. This outside and inside is the blooming of a flower. It is a single twig, and so there is no extraneous twig and no extraneous variety. He, Master Tendo, who calls the presence of one twig the now, is Old Man Gotama. Because the transmission is a single twig, it is transmitted from rightful successor to rightful successor, and for this reason, my existence, the Buddha himself, is the right Dharma treasury and its transmission to Maya Kasyapa, and what you have got is my marrow. Such realization of the present place is, wherever it occurs without exception, the great and valuable life, and therefore it is 5 petals opening. 5 petals are a plum flower. On the basis of the oneness of the concrete individual many and the real inclusive whole, footnote. On this basis, the 7 Buddhist patriarchs exist, and the 28 patriarchs of India in the west, the 6 patriarchs of the eastern lands, and the 19 further patriarchs exist. They are all 5 petals opening on a single twig, and are a single twig of 5 petals. Having mastered one twig and having mastered 5 petals, we meet the authentic transmission of plum blossoms in the snow. When we have transformed the body and transformed the mind inside the stream of the words, a single twig, a cloud and the moon are one, and the river valley and the mountains are independent. Still, people who have never had eyes of learning and practice say, the meaning of 5 petals is that the 5 patriarchs of the eastern lands and the first patriarch make a flower. When we list those 5 generations, they are beyond past and present, former and latter, and so we describe them as 5 petals. These words are not even worth taking up to examine and defeat. Such people are not skin bags who practice under Buddhas and practice under patriarchs. They are pitiful. How could the truth that 5 petals are a flower be of only the 5 patriarchs? Are patriarchs after the 6th patriarch not to be mentioned? That is inferior to the talk of small children. We should not see it or hear it, even in a dream. Okay. My late master, the eternal Buddha, on the first morning of the year, says in formal preaching in the Dharma hall, a New Year's morning is the start of happiness. The myriad things are totally fresh. With respect, monks of the assembly, I say to you, the plum tree reveals early spring. Upon quiet reflection, even if the venerable old drills of the past, present and future are liberated in body throughout the 10 directions, if they do not have the expression, the plum tree reveals early spring, who can call them individuals who have expressed the truth perfectly? My late master, the eternal Buddha, stands alone as an eternal Buddha among eternal Buddhas. His purport is that, embraced by the plum tree's blooming, myriad springs have arrived early. Myriad springs are one or two of the virtues contained in a plum tree. Just one spring is able to make the myriad things totally fresh and to make the myriad dharmas into a new year's morning. Starting of happiness is the rightness of the eye. The myriad things expresses not only past, present and future, but from before King Majestic Voice to the eternal future. He is saying that this immeasurable and infinite past, present and future is totally fresh, and so this real freshness has got free of freshness. On this basis, Master Tendo speaks of treating the monks of the assembly with respect, on the basis that his respectful treatment of the monks of the assembly is the state of the ineffable. Ineffable was that last word, not inevitable. It's not a word. Coffee. My late master Tendo, the eternal Buddha, says in formal preaching in the Dharma hall, if even a single word accords, the 10,000 ages do not move. Willow eyes are popping out on new twigs. Plum blossoms are filling up old branches. Footnotes, if even a single word accords, mutual accord means the accordance of a practitioner's state with the Buddha's state. 10,000 ages do not move. In other words, when a person manifests the Buddha's state in concrete form, even if the manifestation is only one word of speech, then eternity stands still. Plum blossoms are filling up old branches. The third and fourth line of the poem describe real facts in nature. Willow buds grow on fresh green branches, whereas plum flowers grow on old brown or black branches. That is to say, 100 major kalpas of pursuing the truth are, from beginning to end, a single word according with the Buddha's state. And the effort of one instant of consciousness is both before and after the 10,000 ages not moving. That which makes new twigs flourish and willow eyes pop out is the new twigs themselves, and at the same time it is the willow eyes themselves. The principle holds that willow eyes are nothing other than willow eyes. At the same time we investigate them as the new twigs. We should learn the new in practice as the total freshness of the myriad things. The meaning of plum blossoms are filling up old branches is that plum blossoms are the whole of each old branch, that they thoroughly realize each old branch, and that each old branch is just plum blossoms, or, for example, that blossoms and branches have entered into practice together, that blossoms and branches have grown together, and that blossoms and branches have become full together. Footnote, the point is that nothing is separate from anything else. The whole of the plum tree is contained in every part of the plum tree. Because blossoms and branches become full together, the Buddha says, I possess the right Dharma eye treasury and the fine mind of nirvana, and I transmit them to Maya Kasyapa. At which time each face fills the picking up of a flower, and every flower fills the smiling face. My late master, the eternal Buddha, in formal preaching at the Dharma hall, says to all the monks of the assembly, "The willows are wearing belts. The plum blossom is clad in braces." Footnotes: the willows means purple willows and weeping willows. Wearing belts, the brown trunks of the willow tree showing between the green of the spring leaves and the green undergrowth look like big leather belts. Nice. The plum blossom is clad in braces. Where the brown or black branches of the plum tree showed through the white or pink blossoms, they look like braces, i.e. the leather wrist or arm protectors worn by archers. Okay. Those braces are beyond shoku brocade and Benker's gem. Footnote, shoku brocade means Sichuan province, which was famous for its gorgeous brocade. Shoku brocade therefore symbolizes something very desirable. Literally, desire for shoku means insatiable desire. And Benker's gem, a huge gem found in China during the Chu dynasty by a man called Benker, also mentioned in chapter 12, Keisa Koduku. Okay. Those braces are beyond shoku brocade and Benker's gem. They are what the plum blossom reveals. What the plum blossom reveals is, I who am the marrow having got you. King Prasenajit invites the Venerable Pindola to a midday meal, upon which occasion the king asks, I have heard that the Venerable One has intimately met Buddha. Is it true or not? The Venerable One, lifting up an eyebrow with his hand indicates affirmation. Lifting up an eyebrow with his hand. My late master, the eternal Buddha, praises him as follows. By lifting an eyebrow, he answers the question in part. He has met Buddha intimately without any mutual deceit. To this day, he deserves offerings from the four quarters. Spring is on the plum twigs, embraced by the coldness of the snow. This is the story of King Prasenajit asking the Venerable One if he has met Buddha or not met Buddha. Meeting Buddha means becoming Buddha. To become Buddha means to lift an eyebrow. If the Venerable One had only experienced the effect of arhathood without being a true arhat, he could not meet Buddha. Without meeting Buddha, he could not become Buddha. Without becoming Buddha, he might be unable to attain the state of Buddha, which is the lifting of an eyebrow. So remember, as a disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha's face-to-face transmission, as one who, having already experienced the fourth effect, is awaiting his manifestation in the world as a later Buddha, how could the Venerable One not be meeting Shakyamuni Buddha? This meeting Shakyamuni Buddha is not meeting with a Buddha. We have learned in practice that the state in which we meet Shakyamuni Buddha as Shakyamuni Buddha is meeting Buddha. Sorry, there's capital B's and small b's around here. Meet Shakyamuni Buddha is meeting Buddha is with a capital B. Footnote, meeting Buddha means realizing the state of Buddha as it is. It does not mean only seeing a Buddha with the senses. So realizing the state of Buddha, capital B, seeing a Buddha with the senses, little b. Where was I? King Prasenajit, having been able to open these eyes of learning and practice, encounters a skilled hand lifting an eyebrow. A person with a skilled hand means a person who has practical ability. Okay, that's the point of the hand. To grasp the point of the words, he has met Buddha intimately, we should quietly possess eyes that experience Buddha. This spring is beyond the human world, and it is not confined to the Buddha land. It is on the plum twigs. How do we know that it is so? The coldness of the snow is the lifting of an eyebrow. Let's crack on, because we're nearly there. My late master, the eternal Buddha, says, the original features are without life and death. Spring is in the plum blossoms and has entered a picture. In picturing spring, we should not picture willows, apricot trees, peach trees and plum trees. We should just picture spring. We should realize spring as an inclusive reality, says the footnote. To picture willows, apricot trees, peach trees and plum trees is to picture willows, apricot trees, peach trees and plum trees. It is never to have pictured spring. It is not true that spring should not be pictured. Nevertheless, besides my late master, the eternal Buddha, there is no one, from India in the west to China in the east, who has pictured spring. My late master, the eternal Buddha, is the only sharp brush tip to picture spring. The spring he is describing now is spring as a picture, and because it has entered a picture, he need not summon any extra effort. He has let plum blossoms enter a picture, and let them enter trees only so that they may usher in spring. It is a skillful means. Skillful means from the Sanskrit upaya kaushalya, the use of words and imagery as a skillful means to lead us to the realization of reality, which is beyond words and imagery, is explained by the Buddha in the Lotus Sutra. My late master, the eternal Buddha, by virtue of his clarity and the right Dharma eye treasury, realizes the authentic transmission of this right Dharma eye treasury through Buddhist patriarchs assembled in the 10 directions in the past, present and future. Thus he has penetrated the eye and has clarified plum blossoms. Shōbōgenzō Baike. On the 6th day of the 11th lunar month in the 4th year of the Japanese era of Ninji, 1243, at Kitsu-Reiji Temple in the Yoshida district of Eshu, deep snow, 3 feet thick, covers the earth in a boundless expanse. Then he goes on. If by chance some demon of the self appears and the plum blossoms seem not to be the eye of Gautama, then think, what other Dharma, perhaps having been cited as more apt than plum blossoms to be the eye, could be seen as the eye? And if at such a time we look for the eye elsewhere, then every moment will be in the state of being face to face without recognizing each other, because mutual encounter will not yet be realized. Today is not my today, it is the today of a great master. Simply let the eye of the plum blossoms be clear. Stop searching for anything further. My late master, the eternal Buddha, says, it is patently clear. Stop searching back and forth for something behind the semblance of the plum blossoms. In the becoming of rain and the becoming of clouds, the past and present is naturally there. The past and present being empty, what endpoint could there be? Thus, the becoming of clouds and the becoming of rain is the speaking and doing of the plum blossom. Floating clouds and falling rain are the plum blossom's thousands of twists and turns and the myriad layers of colour. Its thousands of merits and myriad virtues. The past and present being naturally there is the plum blossom. The plum blossom is called the past and present, or eternity. In the past, Zen master Ho-En says, the north wind mixes with snow and shakes the valley forest. Though the myriad things have sunk under cover, regret is not deep. The only presence is the mountain plum trees, which are full of spirit. Before December, they are already spewing the mind for all the coldness of the year. Now, without penetrating the concrete situation of plum blossoms, it is hard to know the mind that is ready for all the coldness of the year. A bit of the virtue of the plum blossoms mixed with the north wind has become the snow. Clearly, that which draws the wind, makes the snow, brings order to the year, and causes the myriad things of the valley forest to exist is totally the power of the plum blossoms. The veteran monk Taigen Fu praised the realization of the truth as follows. I remember at the beginning, before realization, each call of the painted longhorn was a call of sorrow. Now there are no idle dreams on my pillow. I leave the plum blossoms to blow in gusts large and small. Veteran monk Fu was formerly a giver of lectures. Enlightened by the cook of Kasan Mountain, he realized the great state of realization, which is the plum blossoms letting the spring wind blow in gusts large and small. Thanks for listening. Take care.